The history of sneakers has a deep-rooted legacy in the culture. Before the days of athletic shoes, men wore mostly hard bottoms on a daily basis to cut the grass in, to lounge around the house. But over the years, sneakers have definitely been among the most iconic footwear known to man. They've crafted some of the most eye-catching designs in history, changing the lexicon of footwear forever. But not all the releases have been bangers though. Today, we'll devote some time to some of the flat out ugliest sneakers ever to roll off the assembly line somewhere. Shoes that were so weird and awkward looking that they had no business ever being made. Obviously, with lists like these, it's totally subjective, so feel free to weigh in the comment section with what you think should or shouldn't be on the list. And knowing some of the people in my comment section, you guys will definitely not be shy to share your opinions on these. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com, and this is the top 10 ugliest sneakers ever. Fashion crimes on feet. But before we get started, please take a second to stop and hit that like button for me. Liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos is the best way to help us continue to grow as a channel. And it's totally free for you. Also, after the video is done, don't forget to stop by our website where we have hundreds of art pieces that any fan of the channel is sure to love. But with all that being said, let's dive into this list. Coming in at number 10, the Adidas Kobe Two. Now I already know I might catch some heat for this one, but hear me out. These shoes are ugly, albeit in a strange, enduring way. When the shoes released, they offered a proto-glimpse into the future Adidas design philosophy with its out-of-the-box silhouette. But not all groundbreaking ideas are good ones. When they first came out, I thought they looked so weird, with the bulbous spaceship-looking shape and lack of visible laces. When the suits at Adidas presented them to Kobe for the first time, it was rumored that he was so disgusted that it soon after led to his departure to Nike. I'm sure the boys at Beaverton were all like, excellent. Next at number 9, the Big Baller brand sneakers. First off, much respect to LeVar Ball for what he tried to do with these. He knew that his sons were going to be marketing gold in the NBA, and he didn't want them to get taken advantage of by one of the Leviathan-like multinationals. But Jesus H. Christ, you gotta focus on the look and the performance just a little bit though, brother. The first gen Big Ballers looked awful. They had what looked like a cheap imitation of Adidas Boost for a sole, an obviously fake snakeskin looking upper, and terrible colorway. Although other more flattering colorways were later released, it was just makeup on a troll. I mean, you can't fix ugly. LeVar proved that what I've been saying for a while now is true. Creating an eye-catching sneaker design from scratch is way harder than most people think it is. At number 8, the Michael Jackson LA Gear sneaker. In the late 80s and early 90s, LA Gear was on the top of their game. They had managed to do the unthinkable, which is to say break into one of the toughest markets known to man. Their LA Lights were a hit with kids across the country, and they thought, what better way to further their success than by linking up with the hottest artist in pop music, Michael Jackson. After dropping $20 million on his permed hairdo, they released a shoe that they thought will perfectly represent the essence of the king of pop himself. The result was an all-black high top with so many studs and straps on it that it looked like it belonged in Hot Topic. Needless to say, they never really took off. The MJ deal wound up being a huge waste of money for LA Gear, and they never dared trying something like that ever again. Number 7 brings us the Nike Air Max A Lot Rasta. The Rasta was a special colorway for the signature Scottie Pippen sneaker, designed with Jamaican flag colorways in mind. These were, how do I say, a nightmare. First off, the Air Max Pippen was never one of my favorite designs to begin with. But to make things even worse, they included a lined gradient style air logo that spanned the entire side of the shoe. The red, gold, and green lining along the sole looks more like something that you would find on a candy aisle than on a competent design for a shoe. Coming in at number 6, the Jeremy Scott Adidas boots. Honestly speaking, most of the Jeremy Scott sneakers could have made this list. They're all pretty bad after all. But the boot/sneaker design is by far the worst of a bad bunch. For some strange reason, Jeremy thought it would be a good idea to marry an Adidas athletic shoe with a pair of vaquero-style cowboy boots. Let's just say the outcome was vomit-inducing. Seriously, who the hell will wear these? In all my years, I've never seen a pair of these in the wild. These shoes always make me think of that old saying where something like, they spent too much time thinking whether or not they could and not enough time thinking whether they should. Well, short answer is, they should not. At number 5, yeah, I know, but I gotta do it. The Reebok by Pharrell Ice Cream shoe. We did a video on the ugliest sneakers connected to rappers, and when I named these shoes, some of you took issue with me for it. But I really don't care what you guys say. These are ass potion. The first version looked like a branded clown shoe with terrible silhouette and even worse color combinations. Later on in the partnership, they released a slightly better looking design using less bozo looking colors, which were a little bit better looking. They utilized a similar all over print concept that was huge back then, which were pretty hit or miss if you ask me at best. For all the fashion genius that Pharrell has, none of it was on display in his Reebok collab. It wouldn't be until years later when he got with Adidas that we finally got a chance to see his full potential on display. Number 4 brings us the infamous Nas by 310 Motors Disciple. Hell, for that matter, you can go ahead and throw in the games version as well. Like 4.5, I guess. When the guys at 310 Motors decided that they would branch out from car customizations and into the sneaker business, someone should have told them to seriously reconsider. It seems that the goal was to make something upscale looking, more grown man style, if you will. But the result looked more like something that an old head would go out and dance to a Step to the Name of Love in. Something about them just screamed Air Unk 2s. Needless to say, not many people bought them, and it didn't take long for the 310 motoring shoe line to disappear. At number 3, honestly, any luxury sneaker brand. Don't get me wrong, there have been some editions that managed to hold their own, but for the most part, it's just like, why? The problem as I see it is they often go way above and beyond and wind up doing too much. I don't know, maybe it's a way to justify the outrageous retail price, but with rare exception, I've always found most of these to just be gross and super gaudy. At number 2, none other than the old Skechers Shape-ups. We all know that Skechers has never been known to make shoes that look halfway decent. Yet somehow, they've managed to live on through all of these years. One of their weirdest looking designs ever was the dreaded Shape-up, a sneaker styled with a huge orthopedic looking bulge at the bottom. Despite the striking hideousness of the shoe, they managed to bring in monumental sales thanks to a campaign that they did with Kim Kardashian, who claimed that the shoes help your butt look better, causing hordes of women to run out and buy a pair. I guess that just goes to show the power of marketing, huh? Last but definitely not least, at number 1, the Dada by Spreewell Spinner. When it comes to classic streetwear, Dada is among the OGs. We got to do a video on them sometime soon. But when it comes to sneakers, perhaps they should have stuck to what they did best, because both the Spinners and Chris Webber C4s were absolute basura. In the early 2000s, not long after Spreewell choked out his coach, he partnered up with a rim company to create the Spreewell Spinners. My younger fans might not get it, but at the time, the streets went crazy over these rims. They were in music videos, magazine ads, and now on sneakers. Considering how iconic the rims were in the culture at the time, Dada thought that it would be a great idea to incorporate the look into the shoe. On paper, they probably thought it was a can't miss idea, but unfortunately for them, the IRL versions just looked silly. The overall silhouette wasn't terrible, although it did look a bit cheapy. The colorways were nothing to write home about, pretty basic. But the weirdest aspect by far turned out to be the same one that they thought would be the coolest. That damn rim on the back. You could even spin it like the one in real life. The Weber C4s were even uglier. They had this huge chrome looking panel on one of the designs. It was god awful. All in all, were it not for the absurdity of the spinner on the back of the shoe, these probably would be completely lost to time. But instead, they made number one on my list. At the end of the day, history has given us tons of groundbreaking, iconic sneaker designs. But there's also been some duds in there too now. There was actually a lot of honorably mentioned that easily could have made the list as well. So feel free to hit us in the comments and let us know which ones you agree with or what you would personally put on the list. Also, if you enjoy videos like this and those on pop culture history, don't forget to smash that like button. Liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos is the best way to get the channel to continue to grow. And if you want to be updated whenever we drop a new episode, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button and then the notification bell. That way you can be dinged when each new video is released. With all that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time, peace.